Hi, Ann. So great to have the opportunity to speak with you. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. How are you?
I'm great. First off, I just got to get this off my chest. Seriously, I have been pushing for this so much because you are clearly one of my all-time favorite actresses.
Oh, thank you.
I honestly, everything I see you in, you just are riveting. The Leftovers, of course, Handmaid's Tale, and now this. And I want to tell you, as a parent, this was a hard one for me to watch. So my very first question, as a parent, how hard was it for you to do?
Well, I think if I had dwelt on my own children, it would have been, but to be the actor playing the role, it was an extraordinary experience. The thing to keep in mind, if it makes sense to you, is the reason that actors can do the deep dive into this kind of material is because when we come home, my children are alive and well. Do you know what I mean? We don't carry those consequences. So, which is not to say we're trying to avoid any kind of full immersion. It's just we do it in a way that is, I mean, if it became about us, it would be impossible to tell the story. And so it's a very fortunate situation when you have a script like this one, which is so beautifully written.
Very.
And this cast, they're so wonderful as actors and human beings. It was a very extraordinary experience, no question.
But you've done tough material before, whether it's on the stage, whether it's on film, on TV, whatever. Did this one scare you a little bit?
Well, yes, the worry, I mean, the goal is always to participate in a way that tells the story truthfully. And in this case, not just respect for the story, which is beautiful, and this character who moved me tremendously, but for the fact that so many in life suffer this unimaginable tragedy.
Yes.
So many families. So there was a sort of an added responsibility. This is not a documentary. However, it is the truth of what goes on and how difficult it is to move through such a crisis.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So that was the worry. I hope I can do this.
Yeah. And you did
in a way that is respectful.
Yeah, and you did. All four of you did. And I felt like I was watching a master class theater. I thought I was sitting in the front row of a Broadway show watching the four of you. And I wondered how you made it work with the four of you. I would guess that there has to be an enormous amount of trust between everybody.
Well done. Yes, that's exactly right. And we had the kind of privilege of, we had 2.5 days of rehearsal to begin with. About 3 weeks.
That's not a lot of time, Ann. Maybe it's better.
No. And in retrospect, that was a blessing.
Okay.
Because what happened in those 2.5 days, aside from going through text table work, which was essential, making sure we all knew the story that we were telling very clearly, and if there were particular bumps that didn't fit right, there were not many, very few. Fran was extremely collaborative in that regard, very, very open. But the thing that happened in addition to that was, just as you say, the establishment of trust among the four of us. And it happened quickly, and it happened in a very deep way. We told personal stories just very easily to one another. What was very clear to me was the kindness and the real goodness of these people and their willingness to hold whatever was difficult. And when you have that, boy, that's just huge. And actors, I mean, we've been doing this a while, the four of us. And so we had, time in the theater, time, just a lot of time of work. So we knew how we worked. We knew what was necessary. It was not something that was precious to us, meaning, and we just stayed together,
right.
I would say. So it was very, very extraordinary, being able to create that intimacy and knowing it was essential, and being able to do so pretty easily with the four of us, and the five of us, Fran as well.
Yes, of course. Yeah. He was phenomenal.
Essential.
I can't even believe this was his first, film. And I had a chance to speak with him. We had a great chat, and I
So
said,
glad.
he's wonderful. He's such a great man. And I said to him, I go, as a parent, it's hard because you have these two couples that have come together and they're trying to, I don't know, make it cathartic, whatever, but at the end of the day, you can't really blame the parents sometimes for what our kids do, so you can watch them, you can keep them under surveillance 24/7, but if something is wrong inside, or, we don't know that. And I found that extremely interesting with these two couples, because like I said, at the end of the day, you can't really blame you and Reed's character. They can't really blame you. But do you understand what I'm saying? Like, what do they get out of that? Like, is it I'm sorry, and does that make you feel better?
I think they could surely blame us and hold on to that blame till the end of time. What's happening here after the 6 years is the desire for healing.
Yeah.
And if that is what the goal is, the human connection, the possibility of forgiveness, then you have to want to heal. Because carrying that burden of whatever it might be, the grief will never leave.
Of course not.
Of course
For
not.
both sides.
For both sides.
Yeah.
So that's never the question. However, can we drop the burden of blame, guilt, which I don't think Linda will ever let go of, nor will Richard.
Yes.
However, I think what has happened over those 6 years, I'll speak for Linda, my thought is that everything she was beforehand, whether it was the peacekeeper in the house, the interpreter from father to son, the trying to really stay in touch with my boy, who doesn't communicate well, all of that, once this tragedy happens, just shatters. There is really nothing left that was familiar to her. So what can you do in that circumstance? I suppose you could build the walls back up. You could say, you know what, I did my best. I'm not going to allow myself to be blamed. They can think whatever they want. And you can shove your way through the rest of life. She does not do so. She comes to that very wise place of knowing, I have no expectation of forgiveness in that room. I have no defense to bring to this table.
Right.
She's just aware that all of that protection, whatever it is, it's gone.
Yeah.
And she does not attempt to rebuild that. And I'm proud of her for it, to say, for lack of a better word.
Yeah.
And so therefore she can, will she ever stop apologizing? I don't think so.
Oh, probably never. Yeah.
And should she? Probably not.
Yeah.
But just being able to say out loud, I raised a murderer, but I love my son. And the world might think it would have been better off without him. I would not have been. She's coming to these truths again without any attempt to remove herself from guilt, do anything, just to live in the reality of what is now the truth of her life. And that's a kind of freedom, if one can say, the gift that it brings her.
Absolutely. I got to wrap in a minute, but I have to.
Sorry.
No. Like I said to Angie, I got to talk to you for 3 hours. I've been dying to talk to you for years. And like we said, around, comes all around. Toronto so well because you shoot The Handmaid's Tale here, of course, you have for the last 4 years. You are absolutely brilliant as Aunt Lydia. I honestly, every time you come on the screen, I don't know what I want to do. You are so good. Everybody in this show is so good. But my goodness, congratulations on your accolades. How do you shake that woman at the end of the day?
Well, I would go to the same place, meaning, well, first of all, it is for us make-believe.
Yes, I know, but it's still.
I hate to sound so
scary as hell.
trite with that. So in other words, I can't, in the beginning when people say, how do you get into her? Oh, does it take a long time? I was thinking, I can't get to her fast enough. I kind of like her a lot. However, I don't say that flippantly. And also
No,
at the
I
end of
know.
the
I
day,
know.
when
Yeah.
you're shooting for 14, when you're there 14 whatever hours, you're very ready to say good night. I'll see you tomorrow. Have a good night's sleep. I'm going home, have a little beverage, put my feet up and go to sleep.
Yeah. Yeah. I
Yeah.
get it. Yeah.
It's
No.
time,
You're so good. How many more seasons do we have coming up? We're
We
gonna
have 2 more of Handmaids.
Yes, exactly. Okay, fantastic. I can't wait. I honestly,
Thank
you
you
are
so
just.
much.
I thank you so much for your time tonight.
Oh,
And
Bonnie,
honestly,
thank you.
you are such a great actor, and I honestly think we're going to see some nominations all across the board for Mass. Your performance in this is just beyond phenomenal. So thank you for your time. You're so welcome, and I really do thank you for your time
And
tonight.
good luck with your kids.
Oh, thank you. They're good. They're grown. Both of them just got engaged. I'm good.
I love that.
Thank you so much for your time, man. I really appreciate it. Have a good night.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Take
Thank
care.
you.
Thank
Bye.
you.